My friends, every single morning, you wake up to two voices. One whispers, stay in bed. You deserve to rest. The world can wait. The other shouts, get up. Your dreams are waiting. Your future depends on this moment. Which voice will you listen to today? That single, solitary choice you make right now in the silence of your bedroom will shape your entire future. Today, we're going to talk about a fundamental, brutal, and non-negotiable truth of success. A truth that has been the bedrock of every great achievement in human history. You must force yourself to get things done. This is the great separator. This is what separates the successful from the dreamers. Success isn't about what you know. It isn't about your raw talent or your intelligence. It's about what you do with what you know. It's about taking action day in and day out, even when you don't feel like it. Let me tell you something, folks. The world doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't care if you're tired, if you're scared, or if you think you're not ready. The world only cares about one thing, results. And results come from one thing and one thing only: consistent, deliberate, and relentless action. Stop for a moment and consider the greatest figures you admire, the inventors, the athletes, the leaders. Do you truly believe they woke up every day feeling ready, feeling inspired, feeling motivated? Or do you think they had to face the same inner struggle as you and I, and then with sheer force of will, they got up and did the work anyway? The answer is obvious. They chose the latter. The grand illusion of motivation. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but I'm not motivated enough. Well, let me let you in on the greatest secret that the most successful people in the world have known for centuries. Motivation is a myth. It's a beautiful, seductive lie we tell ourselves to justify our inaction, to give ourselves permission to wait for a feeling that may never come. We've been conditioned to believe that motivation is a prerequisite for action. We think we must feel inspired before we can create. We must feel energetic before we can exercise. We must feel confident before we can start a business. But the truth is, this is a dangerous illusion. Successful people aren't always motivated. They're disciplined. They've learned to force themselves to get things done, regardless of how they feel. They've trained their minds and bodies to follow a command, not an emotion. Think about it. Do you believe every Olympic athlete wakes up every morning feeling ecstatic to train for 6 hours? Do you think every successful entrepreneur leaps out of bed bursting with enthusiasm to tackle the day's challenges, to face rejection and stress? Of course not, but they do it anyway. Why? Because they understand a fundamental truth that most people have completely backwards. Action precedes motivation, not the other way around. The momentum engine, how action ignites the fire. They don't wait to feel ready. They make themselves ready. You see, most people have it backwards. They stand at the starting line waiting for a burst of motivation to push them forward. But that's not how it works. You take action first, and then the motivation follows. It's like pushing a car. It's hardest to get it moving at first, to overcome the inertia. But once it's rolling, once you've built that initial momentum, it becomes easier to keep it going. Let's use an even more powerful metaphor. Think of a rocket launch. It takes an immense, an almost impossible amount of energy and effort just to get off the ground, to break through the Earth's gravity. That initial push, that initial force, is the hardest part. It shakes the ground, it burns through tons of fuel, it defies all natural resistance. But once it's in motion, once it's in orbit, it glides effortlessly through the vastness of space. Your life is no different. The initial force you exert to get started is the most important part of the entire journey. That action creates momentum, and momentum fuels motivation. It's a psychological feedback loop. You take a small step, you feel a small sense of accomplishment, and that feeling gives you the energy to take the next step. So, when you don't feel like it, don't wait for inspiration to strike. Be the one who strikes first. Be the force. Be the spark. You have to be the one who pushes that car. You have to be the one who ignites that rocket. The ultimate muscle, self-discipline. I am not here to tell you this is easy. Forcing yourself to get things done when you don't feel like it is one of the hardest things you'll ever do. It is the crucible where your character is forged. It is the test that most people fail. But it's also one of the most rewarding things you will ever do. Because every time you push through that resistance, every time you do what needs to be done despite not feeling like it, you're building a skill that's more valuable than any other: self-discipline. Self-discipline is the master key to success in any area of life. It's what allows you to stick to your diet when everyone around you is indulging in junk food. It's what gets you to the gym when your bed feels oh so comfortable. It's what keeps you working on your business when your friends are out having fun. Self-discipline is the bridge between your goals and your accomplishments. And here's the kicker, the most empowering part of all. The more you practice self-discipline, the easier it becomes. Think of self-discipline like a muscle. The first time you try to lift a heavy weight, it's incredibly difficult. Your body aches, your mind rebels, every fiber of your being screams for you to stop. But if you keep at it day after day, week after week, that same weight becomes easier to lift. Your muscle grows stronger. Self-discipline works the exact same way. The more you force yourself to get things done, the easier it becomes to do so in the future. The initial pain of doing the work eventually gives way to the pleasure of momentum. The urgency of now, stop waiting for the perfect moment. But here's the thing you must understand. You can't wait for the perfect moment to start building this muscle. You can't say, I'll start being disciplined when I have more time, or I'll start when things calm down at work. The time to start is now, today, this very moment. Because life is short, my friends. It's precious. And it's passing by whether you're making the most of it or not. Every day you wait is a day you'll never get back. Every opportunity you let slip by because you didn't feel like it is an opportunity lost forever. This is not just a motivational talk. This is a wake-up call. You have to decide right now, in this moment, that you will stop making excuses. You will stop waiting for the perfect moment. You will stop letting your feelings dictate your actions. This isn't about being in a good mood. This is about making a cold, calculated decision to put your future first. The perfect moment will never arrive. The stars will never align perfectly. There will always be a reason to wait, a distraction to pull you away, a voice in your head telling you to do it tomorrow. But success belongs to those who start today, even with the imperfections, even with the doubts. So how do you start? How do you begin to force yourself to get things done? It starts with that single decision. The decision to commit, the architect of your environment, designing your way to success. Once you've made that decision, the next step is to stop relying on willpower alone. Willpower is a limited resource, like a battery that drains throughout the day. Instead, you need to create systems that make it easier for you to take action. You need to become the architect of your own environment, designing your life in a way that supports your goals. Think about it this way. Your environment is a silent but powerful co-author of your life story. It is constantly influencing your thoughts, your habits, your actions. If your environment is filled with distractions, procrastination becomes a certainty. If it is structured for success, action becomes a natural consequence. For example, if you want to start exercising in the morning, lay out your workout clothes the night before. Put your running shoes right next to your bed. If you want to eat healthier, stock your fridge with nutritious foods and get rid of the junk. Throw out the chips, the soda, the processed snacks. Make it difficult to fail. If you want to be more productive at work, turn off notifications on your phone and create a distraction-free workspace. Clear your desk. Close unnecessary browser tabs. These might seem like small things, but they are absolutely massive. They reduce the friction between you and the actions you need to take. They make it just a little bit easier to force yourself to get things done. By intentionally designing your environment, you are stacking the deck in your favor. You are making the right choices, the easy choices, and the wrong choices, the difficult ones. This is the difference between hoping for success and making it inevitable. The strategy of the small win and eliminating distractions. Another powerful strategy is to break big tasks down into smaller, more manageable chunks. Often we procrastinate because the task ahead seems overwhelming, a mountain too high to climb. But when you break it down into smaller steps, it becomes a series of small hills you can easily conquer. Let's say you need to write a massive 20-page report for work. Instead of thinking about it as one big, terrifying task, break it down. Step 1, research the main points for just 30 minutes. Step 2, outline the introduction. Step 3, write the first paragraph of the first section. Suddenly, Instead of one intimidating task, you have several smaller, less daunting ones. The pressure is released. The mountain has become a staircase. And as you're working on these tasks, it's absolutely critical to eliminate distractions. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. They're on your phone, on your computer, even in your pocket. Each of these distractions is competing for your most valuable resource, your attention. When it's time to work, put your phone in another room, close unnecessary browser tabs, find a quiet place where you won't be interrupted. Remember, every time you get distracted, it takes time, sometimes as long as 20 minutes to regain your focus. By eliminating distractions, you're making it easier to force yourself to get things done. The courage to fail and the power of your why. But what about when the task is something you really, truly don't want to do? Something you've been putting off for days, weeks, or even months. That's when you need to employ what I call the 5-minute rule. The 5-minute rule is simple. Commit to working on the task for just 5 minutes. That's it. 5 minutes. Anyone can do anything for 5 minutes, right? And here's the beauty of it. Once you start, you'll often find that you want to keep going. You'll get into a rhythm, the mental block will dissolve, and you'll build momentum. But even if you stop after those 5 minutes, you've still made progress. You've broken through that initial barrier of resistance. You've taught your brain that it can be done. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but what if I fail? What if I force myself to take action and things don't work out? Let me tell you something. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. Every successful person you admire, every inventor, every artist, every world-class athlete has failed many, many times. But here's what separates them from the rest. They didn't let those failures stop them. They forced themselves to get back up, to learn from their mistakes, and to try again. You see, failure is not a dead end. It's a detour. It's a learning opportunity. Every time you fail, you gain valuable information. You learn what doesn't work, which brings you one step closer to finding out what does work. So don't be afraid of failure. Be afraid of not trying. Be afraid of letting your fears and doubts hold you back. Be afraid of looking back on your life and wondering, what if? The biggest risk in life is not taking any risks at all. Adversity, resilience, and the compound effect of habits. As you're forcing yourself to get things done, it's absolutely crucial to remember why you're doing it. What's your big goal? What's your dream? What's that thing that gets you excited, that makes your heart race, that makes you willing to work when others are resting? You need to have a clear vision of what you're working towards. In those moments when you want to give up, your why becomes your lifeline. It reminds you why you started this journey in the first place. And speaking of tough times, let's talk about adversity. Adversity is not the enemy. Adversity is your teacher. It's what shapes you, what molds you, what transforms you from who you are into who you need to be to achieve your goals. Think about it. A diamond is just a lump of coal that did well under pressure. The most beautiful pearls come from oysters that have been irritated by grains of sand. The challenges you face today are preparing you for the opportunities of tomorrow. The struggles you're going through now are building the strength you'll need to succeed in the future. Now, you must understand the true power of habits. Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. Just like how small amounts of money can grow into a fortune over time, small, consistent habits can lead to remarkable results. Want to write a book? Force yourself to write 500 words every day. Want to get in shape? Force yourself to exercise for 30 minutes every day. Success isn't about intensity, it's about consistency. It's not about working 18-hour days for 1 week and then burning out. It's about showing up every single day, putting in the work, and forcing yourself to get things done even when you don't feel like it. Part 10, the mindset of the master and the importance of balance. As you're building these habits, something remarkable happens. These actions start to become part of who you are. They become automatic. They become your default mode of operation. That's when forcing yourself to get things done becomes easier. That's when it starts to feel natural. That's when you've truly transformed yourself into a person of action, a person of discipline, a person of success. But here's the crucial point. This transformation doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, patience, and persistence. Most people fail because they give up when they don't see immediate results. They stop forcing themselves to get things done. Don't be like most people. Trust the process. Understand that real, lasting change takes time. The seeds you plant today might not sprout tomorrow, but if you keep watering them, if you keep tending to them, they will grow. And one day, you'll look back and be amazed at how far you've come. Now, a word of caution, self-discipline isn't about punishing yourself. It's not about working yourself to the bone. True success comes from balancing hard work with rest and recovery. You're not a machine. You can't operate at full capacity all the time. You need time to recharge, to do things you enjoy, to spend time with the people you love. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is rest. So, as you're forcing yourself to get things done, make sure you're also forcing yourself to maintain balance in your life. Your words, your world, and the final challenge. When it comes to forcing yourself to get things done, the way you talk to yourself matters more than you might think. Your internal dialogue shapes your reality. If you constantly tell yourself, I can't do this, or this is too hard, you're right. You can't and it, island. But if you change your internal dialogue, if you start saying, I can figure this out, or this is challenging, but I'm up for it, you change your reality. You empower yourself to take action. This isn't about positive thinking. This is about reframing your challenges in a way that empowers you to face them head on. Finally, you must take full responsibility for your life. As long as you're blaming others for your circumstances, you're giving away your power. But when you take full responsibility for your life, for your successes and your failures, you take back that power. You put yourself in the driver's seat. Taking responsibility means no more excuses. It means looking at your life and saying, this is where I am, this is where I want to be, and it's up to me to bridge that gap. Go out there and make it happen. So, I challenge you, starting today, to force yourself to get things done. You have greatness within you. You have the power to achieve amazing things. But that power remains dormant until you take action, until you push through the resistance, face your fears, and do what needs to be done. Embrace the journey. Embrace the challenges. Embrace the process, because it's through this process that you'll grow, that you'll learn, that you'll become the person you're capable of being. Remember, the future belongs to those who take action, to those who force themselves to get things done, to those who refuse to let their circumstances, their fears, or their doubts hold them back. You have that power within you now. It's time to use it. It's time to create the life you've always dreamed of. The choice is yours. The power is yours. The future is yours. Now go out there and make it happen. Thank you.